Of the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. As we turn our attention now down to this starting line, our riders finding their position here as we all get set for this next order of business, and it's the start, the waving of the green flag, and now all attention once again turning toward Ricky Towery.
And we go to turn our attention that way as well. As we like to say, our conductor of ceremonies, the maestro, as he gets set to step up to his podium and begin this orchestra of starts that are about to take place here for this scheduled 11 o'clock race. Again, folks, running a little behind due to conditions. It was, well, some rain showers that weren't expected late last night, but it doesn't matter. They came in, and that's what GNCC racing's all about. You race and face the conditions that you're dealt with, and that's exactly what we're doing. 1 minute away, my friends, 1 minute away from getting this 11 o'clock scheduled race underway here in Millfield, Ohio. Again, thanks to folks for tuning in along the World Wide Web on racertv.com. That does also mean that we'll probably be a few moments late as far as today's 2 o'clock scheduled race as well. We're less than 30 seconds away as all attention now turns once again more focused toward that first turn region, and Ricky Towery readies these riders and lets them know it's time to roll in a matter of 10 seconds for road number 1, the 4x4 Pro, here at this 30th running of the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. Around that first turn, 6:02, Jordan Phillips grabbing the early lead in this one. He's got the 327 of Robbie Picarori on that DeRisi Racing back ride right behind him. WXC coming up next. Again, Megan Shepard, Jada Phillips, Angel Knox, Alicia McCormick, Caitlin Osborne, Sadie Grell, Tracy Pickens, Hannah Hunter, and Kara Short ready to roll in 10 seconds. And there go the WXC riders. Who's going to grab the early lead? Whoa! It is the 395. That is Angel Knox from Stoneboro, Pennsylvania, former and two-time WXC champion on an Axis Texera Tex Pirate MX back machine. Super Senior 45-plus class, Aaron Delancey, Michael Relia, Curtis Crump, Greg Wise, Tim Mazzella, Bart Barker, Jamie Bonner, and Louis Labello. And they're off. Ricky rolling them through today. Big class on this starting line. 366 of Curtis Crump from Hubbard, Ohio, grabbing the lead in this one. Schoolboy Senior, Trey Seifert, Paxton Dickerson, Hayden Hunter, also Keaton Henderson. 10 seconds. Lane McCormick, Chance Hickey, Ryan Mason, Devin Mercer, Ethan Watts, Colton Buck, and James Galata. Wow, that you can tell the Galata boys, those guys are about 12 feet tall. And James Galata is right along with them, grabbing the early lead. Four by 4A. Mercy sakes alive. Turn 3 problems. David DePasquale, also John Rogers, Jordan Ellis, Brian Buchanan, looking at Zachary Jones, Eric Hollingfield, and Robert Parker. I'm going to warn you guys there in the apex of turn number 2, you guys better watch out. You might want to step back or be ready to step back. They're coming hard in the turn 2. 10 seconds. Four by 4A. Off and rolling now. I was watching and kind of got lost. Didn't even see who got the whole shot. Masters 50-plus class. 10 seconds. Kitty Hawkins, Michael Tarango, Greg Fruchtel, Homie G, Brian Rhines, also David Price, Christopher Conrad, Chad Lane, and Wayne Edwards.
Wow, the 2-1-1 of Michael Tarango from Plantation, Florida. Woo! Pushing it, my friends. As we go to the senior 40-plus class, 4x4 riders, Jeff Osborne, Christopher Riggan, John Glotta Sr., and Brian Keene in 10 seconds. See who's got the early lead in this one. It is, not a surprise, 5:18. John Glotta Sr. from Waxhaw, North Carolina. 4x4 B class coming up next. Benjamin Seiselick, Cage Martin, Jacob Gartner, Reese Parvin, Jeff Purcell. 10 seconds. Parker Merrow, Jeremy Buchanan, Mike Seegers, Brian Russell, Doug Moore, and Tanner Fowler. 4x4B off and rolling. Whoa! Was that 3:28 maybe of Jacob Cartner from Howell, Michigan, STM Power Sports. Sportsman AB coming up next. Derek Hart, Chad Evenshine, Jared Little, Christopher Kirby, Michael Aldridge, Kenneth Rich, Jeremy Stewart, Peyton Adkins, Doug Henke, Torrin Johnson, Tyler Complin, Alex Saylor. 10 seconds. Jared Lambright, Travis Groves, Cole Williamson, Tyler Pyatt, Caleb Hagan, Tyler Miller, David Napo, Old New York Dave, Briar Burgess, also Bryce Jeffers, Donald Griffin, Billy Dalton, Justin Hess, Brandon Hess, Jason Como, Brett Hinke, Shane Kittle, and Ethan Stadler. 8:78, that is Jason Como from Madison, Indiana, getting the early lead in that one. Silver Masters 55-plus class, James Van Lucke, Kenny Ridge Sr., John Ellison, Brad Cheney, Michael Ferguson, and Dave Stratton. Ricky says 10 seconds. .223 Jim Van Lucke. Whoa. Jim Van Lucke followed out 8:88. Dave Stratton out of DeSoto, Iowa, grabbing the early lead in this one. Sport 15-plus class. Drew Beckley, Evan Worse, Brandon Thompson, and Joe Margania. 10 seconds. I'm sorry, Margaria. And they're all. Sport 15-plus class rounding the first turn. It is 392. Brandon Thompson on a Suzuki from New Lexington, Ohio. That thing looks brand new, man. 10 seconds. 16-18 novice. Daniel Gidley, Nicholas Bennington, Bryson Harper, Alex Nelson, Michael Schneider, Justin McKenzie, Stanley Johnson, Ian Burns, Derek Smith, Sammy Eisen, Adam Wechtel, Zach Kearns, Anderson Nicholas, and Trace Thomas. .381, crossing the stripe first. Alex Nelson from Harmon, West Virginia. 40-plus novice. Deer Review, Anthony Stockdale, Darren Radford, Russell Fry, Tim Davis, Anthony Dean, Doug Allball, Bobby McCauley, Richie McCauley, Jimmy Eisen, Jason Holiday, Steve Kiggins, Mike Matusik. 10 seconds. Larry Gilbraith, Rusty Richards, Jim Thomas, and Keith Bird. Bird is a word. Let's see if it is the case today. Wow. That's got to be Jason Holiday from Bowling Green, Ohio. Yes, that is a Media All-Stars back drive, my friends. I recognize those graphics as soon as it took off the line there. Out of Bowling Green, Ohio, Jason Holiday taking the early lead there in that 40-plus novice. 24-plus novice coming up next. 10 seconds. Ryan Simmons, Sean Benoit, Braden Bickley, Cranbrook Nathan, Darius Dillard, Sean Newhouse, Ethan Hott, Travis Eisen, David Miller, Eric Putnam, Paul Crone, and Kalen Patterson. What is that? Darius Dillard out of Parsons, West Virginia, 4:42. That's Ethan Hawk out of South Salem, Ohio. Ethan Hawk getting an early lead in that. Women, we got Carly Martin, Amy Dunlap, Jessica Elioff, Marty Lance, Sydney Sams, Michaela Hayes. 10 seconds. Kristen Power, Nicole Lane, Sydney Kane, Claire Wilkin, and Paige Berryman. These girls are meaning B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S, business. 8:30, Claire Wilkin from Hillsboro, Ohio, grabbing the early lead in this one. 4x4 lights, Levi Say, Trevor Payne, and Ronald Varndell, all ready to roll next in 10 seconds. And the 4x4 lights are off and rolling. You can't necessarily hear them, but they're there. .408, Levi Say. Salisbury, North Carolina, DeRisi Racing Tire Spine, and Ride Now Backed Ride. Schoolboy Jr. coming up next. 10 seconds. Lucas Garner, Alex Gross, also Braden Allen, Blake Norman, Andy Hovis, Dominic Stevens, Cody Clendenning, Riley Miller, Jace Cooper, Ashton Poley, Michael Yondonis, Lucas Somebody, and Brock White. And rounding out of the first turn out front early on, 4:55 of Riley Miller from Vincent, Ohio. Golden Masters 60 plus. This is the one that's got Jake Stratton at 82 years old. Thomas Basco, Jake Stratton, and Pat Poe in 10 seconds. And of course, Jake Stratton racing the very first John Penton GNCC, then known as Burr Oaks. Look at this, 82-year-old man getting hole shot over 6. He's got 22 years on these guys. 22 years on them, and he's got the early lead on these guys, folks. Jake Stratton, you are my hero from Des Moines, Iowa on XS Motorsports back machine. 30-plus novice class coming up. 10 seconds. Kevin Simons, Jennifer Bateman, also Casey Tilbert, Nick Brown, Ben Dunlap, Gilbert McLean, Brandon Hosenfeld, Chad Hosenfeld, Brandon Carter, James Murphy, and David Rudder Jr. '82, I'm telling you, that is certainly unbelievable that he's at that kind of conditioning level. 362 jumping out, but I think Brandon Hosenfeld on the 421 out of St. Clairsville, Ohio on a DBY Motorsports GBC Slick Products back machine, actually grabbing the lead out of that second turn as we go to the 35-plus novice in 10 seconds. David Childers, Doug Bailey, Ivo Pahalik, Luke DeCesar, Wayne Farmsworth, Rodney Poe, Adam Wells, and Tim White. I think it's Doug Bailey out of Lumberport, West Virginia on the 380. No, it's the 290 of David Childers from Lebanon, Tennessee. And he takes over the early lead. 19-plus novice, 10 seconds. Cody Elder, Clayton Kawasaki, Luke Matusik, Zach McIntyre, Matt Kirkwood, Franklin Moat, Zachary DeNoble, Brendan Peisel, Stephen Hainham, Jared Priest, and Brent Shearer. Oh! Mercy. It's the 612, though, out front. Brent Shearer from Everett, Pennsylvania. Still too tight on that first turn. Riders all up and rolling A-OK. So we go to the 4x4 C class now. Keith Verdura, Shane McDaniel, Jimmy Mercer, Bryce Cooper, Justin Nutter, Jason Cohen, Stone Webb, Erica Fisher, John Wright, Daniel Moore, Justin Brown, Donald Simmons, and Chris Fletcher. 4x4C in 10 seconds. And here we go. 6:01, Daniel Moore from Taneytown, Maryland on a DJR. That's David Jesse Racing, Kenda Tires, Custom Access Shock Back Machine. Old David Jesse, good guy. Trail Rider 16 plus. Ten seconds. Cody Crabtree, Brian Kirkner, Tyler Kirkner, Justin Maurer, Hayden Thompson, Josh Mooney, Mark Shoemaker, Devin Sinesmore, Ian Medley, Justin Guthrie, and Chad Nicholson as the green flag waves on our final start of this 11 o'clock scheduled race. I know it's a lot later than that, hour plus, but here we go. 3:34, Cody Crabtree from Wayne. I don't know if that's Wayne, West Virginia, or if that's, it says WB, but I'd say West Virginia, by golly. Wayne County covers about 2/3 of West Virginia, I think. But anyway, that is it for the start here. We'll be back with the 2 o'clock scheduled start, probably a little later than that. We'll have an official time as we get closer to it, folks. But thanks for coming out. Thanks to all you folks on RacerTV.com for stopping by, and we'll be back with more live coverage coming up just prior to the start of today's afternoon race.
Hey guys, Landon Wolf here with Mikey Waynes. John Penton, GNCC, that's where we're at this weekend in Millfield, Ohio. Had a little bit of rain yesterday morning, made for some pretty slick conditions, similar to probably what we had in X Factor 2 weeks ago. A lot of sun though, it dried out. I think we're in for some pretty good racing.
The 30th annual John Penton, it's here today. Tune in live at 2 o'clock on RacerTV.com.